In the previous video, we talked about the correctness of a program, and in that topic, we discussed composition rule. We discussed composition rule, and that composition rule actually falls in rules of inference. There are other few rules of inferences as well that we will going to talk about that in this video is the conditional statement and loop invariant. So first of all, let me just talk about conditional statement. Remember that in programming there are three kind of very important statements. The first one is the if statement. We will talk about that in this video. Then we have a for loop. We did not discuss this in the current lectures. The third one is the while loop. So we will talk about this in loop invariant. So the first question is, what is conditional statement? In conditional statement, we have a statement written like this in programming. In pseudocode, or just to understand the condition, we write it like this: if condition, then we have a set of program S. In this case, we have if, then there is a condition. There should be some kind of statement written over here. And after then, if this condition is true, then the set of programming statements or syntax will run over here. For example, if I write if x is greater than 0, then y is equal to 2 static x, and this is going to be, and over here I have written this code in a very simple code in MATLAB, which says that if x is equal to 2, for example, then this statement is true. And then if this is true, then you calculate y is equal to 2 static 2. Static means multiplication. And finally, we get y is equal to 4. So this is the MATLAB program. You can also write the Python code or C++, whatever the language you are expert in. So this is the general statement of if statement can be used for any programming software. Now, so what we have, we now want to write the symbolic way of writing this statement. So how this is true? Remember that we already discussed that before, if in partial program we have before a program in the software we have some initial assertion p, then after running the program we have a final assertion, that is the solution, that is called q. So if this p is written as, if this p is written as p, which is initial assertion, and we say that this condition is true. If this condition is true, then we write p and condition, the combination of these two. Then if this is true, then it means that this program will run. These few programming statements or lines will run. In that case, if these runs, then we have S curly braces, and what we get the answer Q. So this is Q, which is the final assertion. Now what happens is, if this condition is not true, if this condition is false, then we can write, if this condition is false, then initial assertion is P, and condition is not true. If condition is not true, this is a symbol of not. So if this condition is not true, then this S statement will not run and you will directly go to the final assertion, which is Q. So it means that this implies you will not use these curly braces since S has not been run in this case, then we have Q over here. So finally, the final answer would be therefore P if condition then S, then finally we get Q. We get Q in both the cases, remember that. This final assertion, you must get final assertion either from this way or either from this way. So final assertion remains the same. If you do not understand, then I have written this statement for the question. So we will talk about that now, and you can understand the conditional statement in program correctness. So we solve this this example. This says that verify that the program, this is the program, and this program is correct. This is correct with respect to initial assertion, some initial assertion that can be any value. And the final assertion, it says that y is greater than or equal to x. So solution is solution. So initial assertion we choose is x is equal to, for example, we say that x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 1. Suppose this is our initial assertion. This is initial assertion, which is t, or we can call it p, whatever the name is, it doesn't matter. This is initial assertion anyway. So if 2 is greater than 1, it means that this condition is true. This condition is true. So the statement says that y should be equal to x. And what is x? Y is equal to 2. So after this program has run, we got the answer x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 2. Okay, correct. 2 is greater than 1 and y is equal to, since x is equal to 2, so x is equal to 2 over here, so x is equal to 2. So what is the final assertion? This is our final assertion, which says that either y greater than x or y is equal to x. So it satisfies the final assertion because x is equal to y, which is equal to 2. Now look at the another situation when we say that x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 3. So in this case, when we run the program, if x is 1 greater than y is 3 and y is equal to some value of x, since this condition is false, this condition is false, it means that s will not run in this case. This is your s. This will not run in your case. So what we have the final answer x is equal to 1, y is equal to 3. In this case, y, which is 3, is greater than 1, so y is greater than x. It means that this is true anyway. So this assertion remains true. This is your Q, which remains true in either case. Okay. So this was about the conditional statement. Now the next comes the, you can see the more example in the Rosen book. There are many examples that you can practice. So next we have loop invariant. As I already talked about, there is one very important loop in any program is the while loop. So how the while loop runs? When we have while and in front there is a condition, and then we have some statements s, programming statements. So what happened is, if this condition remains true, then this statement will run uh, as far as this condition remains true. So it means that while is something which is actually continue working until this condition is true. When it is false, then it will stop or terminate the value. So what is the symbolic way of writing this statement? So we write initial assertion. We have some initial assertion that we will put the value in the beginning of this while loop, and then we have probably some statement. We will talk about that. So p and condition, it means that p and condition is true. Then we have S, which is the statement, and then we have P over here. So here, for example, we finally get, and remember that here we did not get anything new out of that. This condition follows this one. So finally we'll get this P anyway. We'll not get Q, a new answer. So P will become, finally P will become while condition S. Then we have not condition, not condition, and P. So when this is not true and P is true, so that's how the things written in the loop invariant. You do not write it like P S Q. It is not right like that. But here we have written this thing, but here this is the conclusion. Okay, now look at the example. So in this example, we have to use the loop invariant to prove that when this code is true. So let me just write it for you. This is the pseudocode. It means that it is not a complete code for any one particular program, but you can write this for Python, MATLAB, or C++, whatever the languages you know. So, first of all, in this program, you know that we need to find the n factorial. N factorial. This is the program for n factorial. So first of all, suppose you want to find the 3 factorial. It means that this becomes n. So n will be equal to 3. So when the program runs, we have I is equal to 1. Fact. This is just a dummy variable. 1. Then I is 1. 1 is less than 3. It means this is true. So in programming language, we will write, for example, while over here in MATLAB. But let me just talk about pseudocode. Since this is true, since 3 is greater than 1, it means that uh, if this is true, then we can reach at I is equal to I plus 1, and I is equal to 1 plus 1, and this is equal to 2. So fact is, what is fact? Fact was 1, 1 static, and I is equal to 2. So this is 2. So fact is equal to 2. Now, since this, now that I is updated, the new I is 2 and fact is 2. Now it will go back, and when then we have, for example, this one will run again. So I is equal to 2, which is less than 3, which is true. So I will become 2 plus 1, 3, and fact becomes, fact is now updated. Fact is 2, 2 static, and I is 3. So we'll get 6. Now, since this is true, then this will go back again last time. And remember that these two variables will be stored in the programming language or in your computer. So next we have I is equal to 3. 3 is less than 3, which is false. Now this whole program will not run. And finally, the stored value that you have I is equal to 3 and factorial, which is 6. So 3 factorial is equal to 6. That's how the while loop runs, and this is called loop invariant. Thank you for watching.